So I'm actually writing a blog post right now, because I would say the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks have been completely, absolutely surreal. It still has not hit me yet, but probably one of the most important things that has happened to us, we haven't even really celebrated that much, but it's basically this story of Stradman, who, if you don't know who Stradman is, he's one of the most famous automotive YouTubers in the world. Us selling him a Countach, and his goal to drive the Countach from Miami back to Utah, which brings up a really incredible story, because I'm a big believer that if you don't stand behind what you do in life, then what's the point? So 8 years ago, I sort of put a flag in the ground and wanted to represent the Countach and vintage Lamborghinis and vintage Lamborghini owners. There's so many passionate collectors. There were so many important visionaries to the Countach story. And I never said that the Countach was a daily driver, but the misconception that the Countach was not a good car, it like destroyed me, because when you think of all of the designers, engineers, and all of these passionate people that were responsible for this car, and then people that loved the cars from day one, it was just sad. And I felt like I needed to shake the world up. I was tired of people bad-mouthing the cars. And sort of since that moment, I think when we first started, everyone made fun of me. For almost 8-9 years now. I'll never forget when some very serious vintage car dealers were here in town. They were joking about, why do you have so many stupid Countaches? And then James came along. Stradman, I realized, was an opportunity for vindication. It was an opportunity for vindication for the Countach, for what we do, curated, our clients, collectors, the visionaries, the engineers. But at the same time, I spent months and months stressing over this journey. We pulled the engine. We had done all these things to this car to prepare it. The amount of time I had in the car, I actually, for 2 weeks straight, I drove the car home daily. We did a famous tour to Naples to make sure this car would last 2-3 hours. Then we brought it to North Carolina and drove it all over the Carolina mountains to essentially make sure this car would make it back to Utah. So Stradman's car's been ready for weeks, and it doesn't want to start. It'll start. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm like, yeah, take your time. Take your time.
What is it? Starter.
Every time that James called me and said, hey, is the car ready yet? I had to gulp and say, oh my God, is it gonna make it? Is it actually going to do this trip? But after so many months, and then finally preparing it cosmetically, I felt that the car was ready. It was like the culmination of all my Countach monologues, my preaching. Everything that I stood behind was actually going to be tested. I was either a liar, a fraud, or speaking the truth. And listen, to date, we've delivered over 350 vintage Lamborghinis successfully. Completely successfully. I could say that everyone that we've delivered a car to has been happy. We helped support them. We helped fix the car. We paid for services. We did whatever it was to support the community, but never have we delivered a car so publicly, and a car that was basically going to drive 3,000 miles over 7 to 9 days in different elevations, different temperatures, and all these different things. So we had to take this seriously. I felt like this was a responsibility to my clients, to the cars, and the visionaries that created them. All I know is that James needed to make it back to Utah.
A Diablo S40.
And ladies and gentlemen, There she is! Oh my gosh, how is this not born? What in the world? So the Countach now has a brand new answer exhaust that is very effective.
Do the honor of taking off the seat cover.
Now, since we saw this car in North Carolina, she has gone through the full restoration. Look at this white interior. It looks brand new. What? How did you do that? This guy is a magician. I don't know what kind of potions you have back there.
Not
this
me. All those guys.
Yeah, shout out to the team here at CURATED. Everybody's been a part of this build. I'm not convinced this is the same car. This is not the car I drove in North Carolina in September. The paint is flawless. The interior is amazing. We now have the white wheels as well. We have the ultimate 1987 triple white Lamborghini Countach. This is gonna be the craziest journey ever. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, I can't. And this and the Espada. It's beautiful. Yeah, gorgeous. Thank you so much. This is sick. Thank you. This is so
You're welcome. You are welcome.
It's gonna be an adventure. So good. Well, the official time to head to the state of Utah, Mr. John Temerian. Thanks, dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna do. Come on, baby.
This is sort of something I wrote. In an odd way, James fulfilled my dreams and the dreams of so many. It may sound funny, but this over-enthusiastic, skinny young man from Utah represents the dreamers, believers, and the eccentric entrepreneurs and visionaries who have loved the Countach for 50 years. Thank you, James, from all of us. You are a complete legend.
Picking up an F50 tomorrow at the airport. Same place you picked up the top and the exhaust.
Let me check what I've got going on the schedule so we can go ahead and squeeze you in, because I know we've got two things that we're doing for you tomorrow.
Right.
Let me try to see if I can get you another truck.
Okay, call me back. Let me know.
All right.
All right.
We'll do, for sure.
Thanks, brother. Bye.
Thanks, bro. Bye.
What's up, bro?
Very nice. I have someone hot, by the way.
Bro, are we flipping this car in 24 hours, or are we like holding it for 2 years like we said?
Was it? She texted me too.
Nice. Yes. For this guy.
Yeah, she texted me too.
You know, I told her, I said, listen, we just bought it. I said, you know, honestly, I don't really want to sell it unless I got an absurd number, and I want to be able to like dog and pony show it for the next year. Like it has so much value to me. She's like, I can totally get him to agree. This is his favorite car of all time. He's a major collector. He's like losing his shit over the car. I can get him to, I think, to agree anything.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, it's not a CLK GTR, but look, similar type cars today are selling for, you know, 8, 10, 9, 12, 13 million to be different. So, if you want to be different, this is it. So let me work on it. I'm just going to say.
Do your thing, bro. Let's see what happens. It's exciting.
Yeah. Right. So let me work on it. All right.
You're the man. Crazy. Last time I was here, I picked up Ultimo with Brett.
This guy flew to Dubai for 24 hours, and 2 weeks later, we're picking up the car that he helped us get out there.
Without him, there wouldn't be a car to get. So teamwork, baby. Herschel is the king of social media. NSFW. But if you want to see why, you can take a look at this post right here. Some people go to the airport to pick up their grandmas. We go to. So I walk into the office one day, and Herschel's on the phone with somebody, and I hear the words yellow F50. Now I have a good friend of mine who expressed interest in specifically a yellow F50. Great, he's like, well, let me know if your guy's interested because we don't have that much time. I noticed that my guy is actually overseas in Dubai at a work conference. And Herschel's like, oh, dude, the car's in Dubai. Like, so what you're telling me right now, Herschel, is that I have to get on a plane and go to Dubai. And he's like, no, you definitely don't have to do that at all. And I was like, okay, so you want me to get on a plane and go to Dubai? I spent a total of 28 hours in the air and I was only on the ground for roughly 32 hours. And in that time, I got to see the car, got to check out a couple of the cool showrooms. We'll attach the footage. But to see yellow F50 in that setting for the first time was tremendous. And the fact that it's here now in Miami is a complete mind-blowing fact. One of 31 yellow F50s for the world. Less than 50 F50s were ever produced in a color other than red. So this is a very, very special car. Fantastic condition.
To have the opportunity to buy a Ferrari F50, let alone one of less than 50 in the world that were not painted red. In my opinion, one of the best colors on this car has to be yellow. It's absolutely fantastic. So one of 31 cars in yellow. And also to have the opportunity to act so quickly. When we first heard about this car from Herschel, we had less than like 24, 48 hours to put a deposit and try to close. Thankfully, Gabe jumped on a flight for us. Within 24 hours, we paid for it. Which just to have the opportunity to be able now today to buy cars like this is completely surreal. And then to within a week or two have it flown here to Miami and have it with us and then sell it to the client that Gabe originally had for it, who didn't get to see it while he was in Dubai, which is completely insane if you think how the universe works. And then to have the opportunity, this is a unicorn. I mean, we'll be talking about F40LMs one day. You know, mark my words, these will be 20, 30, 40, $50 million cars. When you think of the importance of the F40 and what Michelotto did with these cars, and how rare they are, one of 19 for the world, and just so special. The most remarkable part is we've actually sold 2 of the 19. Again, this is surreal. I never imagined doing this or being involved in these transactions when we first started. And then having them sit together here in Miami in our showroom, and being part of its history. I remember when we first started and I was looking at notes of cars and seeing all these important dealers or important auction companies involved in the history of these cars. I said, wow, one day it would be so magical to be part of these cars' histories. And I think that's really what excites me most about what we do, and just to be part of its history somehow and tell the story, just the way we did the story of this Lotec C1000. Same with the Gallardo Concept S, same with the Murcielago RGT, same with the Diablo GT2, that most people don't even know this car exists. And this was, you know, essentially a prototype that Lamborghini used to develop future Diablos and eventually the Diablo GT, and you know, all these different factors. So to have these cars here all in one place, I would have never imagined anything so crazy, anything surreal, this surreal. It's a dream.